Hello, hello. Welcome to day 23. We are going to hit up a little yoga inspired segment today. I know for some of us that can be a little scary or worrisome to think in terms of yoga, but it's more just yoga inspired, not really traditional yoga at all. So if you want traditional yoga, this isn't going to be it, but it'll be really good and beneficial to give our bodies just a little bit more stretch, a little more range of motion and mobility as we continue on our way, our journey, to keep pushing it in our other sessions. So start on your mat, on your back, and you're going to keep your right leg long on the ground and tug your left knee into the chest. So I want you to flex both feet. Take some deep breaths. Another thing that's really scary about yoga for some people is that as you're breathing and as you're holding poses, it forces you to feel the body and connect with the body. All right, switch your legs. And sometimes that can be scary depending on the relationship that you have with your body. So there's tons of research and lots of very scientific studies that have been done, especially in areas of trauma, etc. So again, this is not going to be traditional yoga. So whatever connections that you make with the body. Okay, switch again. This time I want you to keep that straight leg off the ground. Flex the foot back, flex through the quad, pull that knee into the chest. If it feels good for you, tuck your chin in and pull your forehead towards your knee. Otherwise, you can keep your head on the ground. Inhale, exhale, and switch. But that's a very positive thing, is to be able to connect with the body, to maybe take this little 30-minute session to get out of your head and into your breath and into your body. One more switch. Pull the left, push the right leg out, and then switch. Okay, plant both feet on the ground. Relax your head on the floor, and then set your feet to get ready for a glute bridge. So depending on your body and your proportions, sometimes a good measurement of whether or not your feet are in the right spot is you can kind of barely graze the backs of your heels with your fingertips. However, depending on, again, like I said, your proportions, arms to legs, may not exactly work out. Drive your hips up, and at the top of your glute bridge, you want your knees to be right on top of your ankles. Take your hands and interlace them underneath your hips, if you can, on the ground. Wiggle your shoulder blades together, and then press your pinkies into the ground. So you're pressing your pinkies. You should feel your triceps engage. Core stays strong, so make sure you're not over arching your low back. Press into the heels and then pull the heels back towards your shoulders. Close your eyes if you can. That's okay for you. And then as you push into your heels and pull them back, you feel those hamstrings light up, the glutes lift your hips even more. And then you should almost feel the tops of your knees lengthen away from your hips. Hold it up there. Deep, deep breaths. Last one. Unwiggle your arms. Let your hips drop onto the ground. Grab both knees, hug them into the chest, tuck your chin in. And we're going to rock and roll our way up to a boat pose. So grab the fronts of your knees, start rocking. Let's go 3, 2. On the last one, you're going to find your balance. 1. Pull your legs up if you can. Flex your feet so that your shins are parallel to the ground. You can grab behind the thighs if you need. Scoop through that belly. Take your hands, if you don't need to grab behind your thighs, take your hands. You're going to rotate up high onto the right. That's your inhale. Exhale, left. Hold here while you inhale. Exhale, right. Inhale, exhale, rotate. Hold and inhale. Exhale, rotate. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Okay, as slow as you can, or whatever works for your body. Slowly lower down. Let's see if we can take 10 counts. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant your feet. Go back up into your glute bridge. Again, interlace your hands behind your back. Plant your pinkies into the ground. Push into the heels. Pull the heels back towards your shoulders. Feel the traction. Flexion into your hamstrings. Close your eyes. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. Connect with your body. Connect with your breath. Whatever that means for you. All right, slowly lower those hips. Unwiggle your shoulders. Hug your knees in, and then we're going to take our 3 rocks. Come forward. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, take your feet. We're going to cross them under. And we're going to do a little camel stretch. Curl your toes under, and then see if you can plant your hands back onto your hips, or onto your heels. Slowly lift your hips up. I have one arm off, so I've got my left hand on my left heel. Then you're seeing if you can grab right heel with your right hand and push your hips forward. If not, you stand up with your hips right on top of your heels, plant your hands on your hips, and push forward here. Take your 3 deep breaths. If you've got your hands on your heels, just keep pushing the hips forward, tucking your chin. Feel that stretch through the shoulders. One more. And release. Come forward, plant your hands on the ground. We'll go into our hands and knees. Spread those fingertips nice and wide. And then we're going to go cat-cow. Inhale, push your chest forward. Exhale and round. Tuck the tailbone under, belly super firm. Inhale, push forward. Exhale, round. One more. We're going to take little sets of 3 today. Inhales and exhales. Tuck and round. Bring your hands forward on your mat. Your big finger or your first finger straight ahead. Suction cup those knuckles. Curl your toes under. Drive your hips up and back for that downward facing dog. Super important here to get that hollow through the armpits. You're spiraling the elbows back and try to get those heels to drop. So if you're way up off your heels, your calves are really tight. We need to work on that. You can try bending your right knee, pressing through that left heel, and then bending your left knee, pressing through the right. If you need to keep your knees bent, that's fine. I want your butt in the air, your back engaged, armpits hollowed out, and we're going to take those 3 deep inhales and exhales. Check in. Stay relaxed through the jaw, the forehead, the neck. Last breath. Take one more inhale. You're going to come forward into a plank position. And at any time, if you need to keep your knees on the ground, you can do that. So if this takes a little pressure off the neck or the hands, great. You can also position yourself to use a bench or a wall, so it's not so much pressure on your arms and shoulders. So we're going to be in our little plank position here. Again, if you need to hold knees on the ground, that's fine. You can still engage your core a lot. So let's take our 3 deep breaths. Tuck the tailbone, elbows pull back toward the toes. Here's 2. Keep scanning the body. On your 3rd, lower down to the ground. If you need to drop your knees first, that's fine. Otherwise, elbows tuck in, drop all the way down, and then relax your hips, your quads, and your chest. Release your feet and interlace your hands behind your back. If you need to grab a strap or a towel to be able to connect, that's fine. Interlace those hands, tuck your chin. Inhale, squeeze up, and we'll take our 3 deep breaths. Grab through those glutes, so we still want to gently engage there. Tuck the chin. And 1. Okay, plant your hands back onto the ground. Slide your hands so that they're back underneath your biceps. So they're behind your shoulders. Spread those fingertips wide. Core contracts, your glutes contract, and then you're just going to gently push up. So you come as high as you would like. If you want to go into a full straight arm, feel free. Keep your elbows pinched in tight. Glutes are strong. Take your deep breaths. This opening of the chest and extension for the back are so good. But we're keeping core gently engaged, glutes strong to protect the low back. Okay, grab the belly, scoop back, and hit up your child's pose. Yes, we'll take our 3 deep breaths here. Keep your arms active. So your elbows are up off the ground. You're trying to pull your armpits to face straight at the ground and your elbow pits to pull straight up toward the ceiling. 2 more breaths. Focus on the air coming in and going out. Okay, we're going to curl up into our downward facing dog. Slide those hips back, driving your heels toward the ground. And then we're going to bring one leg forward. So if you need to come onto one knee and pull a leg forward, great. If you can stay on your hands and it's not too much pressure for your neck and shoulders, inhale and bring your right leg up super high. Then hinge forward, grabbing with the core, tucking the knee in toward your chest, and then planting between your hands. So like I said, if you needed to come down to your hands and knees and bring your leg forward like this, totally fine. Whatever works for you to get where you're going. The awesome thing about yoga is it's not supposed to make you feel silly or an idiot if you can't get the positions into the positions in the same way as everyone else. So it's all about you and honoring your body and where you're at. So we're going to keep that back knee on the ground for now, but keep your toes tucked under. Grab the core and then inhale. Bring your arms all the way up. So I want you to push into the right heel and then pull it back toward that left knee. Slide those shoulder blades down. Your hands face one another and the thumbs are pointing straight behind. So feel flexion into the back. You can stay where you are for your 3 breaths, or you can push up off the ground with that back knee. So we're going to hold our 3 breaths. Neck stays relaxed. With your exhale, I want you to bring your hands down and try to straighten that front leg. So if you need to bring your hands up onto your knee, that's fine. Support with the wall around you. And then actually I'm going to need to, and probably most of us need to bring that back foot in just a bit. You're going to be able to plant the foot on the ground. so that your heels line up. Pull the left hip around toward the front. Right hip pulls toward the back behind you. Inhale to lengthen the chest, and then exhale, fold over that front leg. Plant onto your fingertips. You can grab a couple heavy weights, blocks. The balls are always a nice height as well. We want to feel that stretch through the hamstring. Okay, we're going to grab the core, push through that front leg, bring your arms all the way up. Inhale, keep that those hips squared off toward the front. And then we're going to bounce our back leg back again. So bend into your right knee and then bounce your left foot back. Replant your heel and then open into warrior two. So the goal would be to get your front thigh parallel to the ground or close. Your knee is pulling toward the pinky toe side of the foot. Back leg super strong. And you have an inner arch to heel alignment. Now then, feel the legs flex in to support the upper body. Extend energy out through your hands. 3 breaths. Rotate shoulders back and down. One more inhale. On your exhale, flip your right hand so the palm faces the ceiling, and you're going to reverse warrior. So hold the right arm straight up toward the sky. Flex into that left inner thigh. Flex into your right thigh. One more deep inhale and exhale. Inhale again, and with your exhale, you're going to pinwheel the arms. So the right arm is going to come down, left arm circles around. Plant those hands, twist your foot. Same as getting here. If you need to drop onto your knee to take the leg back, that's fine. We're going to end up in our downward facing dog. If you prefer, you can hit a child's pose. We're going to take those 3 deep breaths. Hollow out your armpits. Flex into the back. Okay, next inhale, again, either from your knees or from your down dog. We're going to bring our left leg up high. Feel the core grab, push into the hands, hinge forward, bring your knee toward the chin, and then plant the left foot on the ground and drop your knee. Bring your arms up, toes stay curled under, both arms straight up overhead. Slide the shoulder blades down. Pull your left heel toward your right knee so you find traction between your legs. You can stay here or inhale and lift. 3 breaths. On your 3rd breath, we're going to stand all the way up. Bring your arms forward, reaching toward the ground. Bounce that back leg in. Plant your heel on the ground so that the heel lines up. Your back right heel lines up with the front left heel. And then scissor those hips. So you want to pull the right hip down toward the ground. The left hip back behind you. Exhale, lean over those legs. 3 deep breaths. All right, on the 3rd breath, hinge back into that left leg and then bounce the right foot back behind you so that your inner arch lines up with the front heel. Bend your left knee a lot and then bring your arms up so So you're in your warrior two. So you can get a nice long stance, hopefully, so that the front thigh almost parallel to the ground. Glance down, make sure you can see your big toe inside your left knee. Flex both legs. Here's our 3 breaths. Try to drive into the outside edge of the right foot. Feel the thighs grip evenly to support. Shoulders roll back and down. Next inhale or exhale, flip your left palm to face the sky and then reach back. Keep your left knee bent a lot. Lift up out of those hips, grab through the core. Take in those 3 breaths. Stay in the moment. Next exhale, bring your arms up, pinwheel around, plant your hands, take that back leg back, press into those hands, hit that downward facing dog, and take your 3 breaths. And 3. Okay, walk your feet up towards your hands. Make sure the feet are right underneath your hips, spread through the toes. So you find your big toe ball mound, pinky toe ball mound, and then both sides of your heel. Grab your elbows with your hands and just let the upper body hang forward. Gently sway side to side. Take your 3 breaths. Okay, stop your bouncing. And then on your next inhale, sweep your arms out really wide and come all the way up. Arms up overhead. Grab your right hand, exhale, pull to the left. Inhale to center. Grab your left hand, pull to the right, trying to keep those hips level so they're not twisting. Inhale, center, 1 more each side. Inhale to center. We're going to exhale, dive forward again. And then we're going to take our legs out nice and wide. So extend your right and left leg, trying to pull your toes in a little bit more than your heels. So your heels are going to try to pull out away from the midline, toes kind of in. All right, plant your hands right underneath your shoulders. Inhale, lift your chest forward, reach up out of the rib cage, squeeze shoulder blades together. Exhale, fold forward. Push into those hands, kind of help ground yourself to get that forward fold. We're going to inhale. Here's our second breath. Reach forward, exhale, and plant. Inhale up. Exhale, drop. And then come to where you have a neutral spine with your back hopefully about parallel to the ground. As always, you can try to bring the floor up to you. So if you need to grab a ball or a weight or a step or a pillow, a box, go for it. We're going to plant into the right hand. Try to keep those hips level. Mine are already shifting, so keep those hips level. So if you're planted into the right hand, shift the hips kind of over to the right. You're going to inhale and twist, trying to stack those arms, keeping your hips level. We're going to take our 3 deep breaths here. If your head can follow the arm, that's great. So we're building mobility through the thoracic spine. holding stability in our low back, keeping the chest lifted off the ribs. One more inhale, and with our exhale, fold back down. Now other side, with that right hand, shift those hips so they level off. Neck stays out of it. Reach your head away from the shoulders. One more inhale. And with your exhale, drop your hand. All right. Heel toe, your feet back in. And we're going to drop into our yogi squat. So drop nice and deep. Hopefully you can get your heels on the ground. Elbows into your knees. Plant your hands. Push the chest into the hands. Close your eyes and take those 3 deep breaths. Here's our 3. We'll take one more inhale. Plant your hands as you exhale. Stand up. We're still hinging over those legs. Heel toe, your feet all the way back so that they're right underneath your hips. And we're going to take 3 forward folds to raise it. So inhale. Arms come all the way up. Stack everything, right? Think of that stack. Heels, hips, shoulders, head. Exhale. Arms reach out really far. Dive over. Inhale. Fly up. That's 2. Exhale, dive over. Inhale, come up. Dive forward. And then we're going to come up one more time and go into a tree pose. Okay, so grab let's start here. If you need a wall or a chair or something stable near, if you're worried about falling over, get there. And then we're going to put 80% of our body weight into our right foot. Flex into the thigh, knee is soft. You're going to take your left foot and put it either on your ankle, the toes can still be touching the ground, on your calf, flex into both legs, or pulling that foot all the way up into your inner thigh. Just make sure that you're not pushing on the inside of your knee. So it needs to be above your knee or below your knee. Trying to level off those hips, push the inner thigh on the right leg into the foot on the left. Then you're going to hold those hands together. So create a little bit of tension into the arms. Find a spot that's not moving, especially if you feel wobbly. If you feel stable, you could try closing your eyes. And we're going to take our 3 deep breaths. Find that neutral spine so the pelvis is neutral, tucked under just a bit. Here's our 2. And 3. Okay, to come out of it, bring the knee forward, releasing the foot off. Hold here just a second. And with your exhale, plant. Okay, we're just going to shift to the other side. Find the 4 corners of that left foot. Same thing. Either put your right foot on the ground into your calf or all the way up, inner thigh. Find that foundation, that core. Level off through the hips. Plant your hands together. And we're going to get our 3 breaths. Feel the body, check in. Deep inhale, exhale. Bring that knee forward. Hold a split second and then drop. Okay, go to the end of your mat. Take a nice deep inhale. Arms come up. Exhale, dive forward. And then slowly come down all the way onto your back. So bend your knees if you can. If it works for you, just roll all the way back. Nice and slow, holding that core. Take your feet so that they're mat width. Put your arms out in a T. Inhale, then exhale, drop your knees to the left. Put your left foot on top of your right knee and take your 3 breaths. On your next exhale, you're going to unwind, take that left foot off, come to center, go to the other side. So the knees rotate to the right. Put your right foot on top of the left knee. One breath. And 3. Okay. The toughest pose for me in yoga is Shavasana, the corpse pose. But it is so, so good. We're not going to stay here long. Just find a position where you can extend your legs all the way out in front of you. Let them relax. Hands come out with the palms facing up. Let them relax. Close your eyes and relax. So there's no certain breath you need to take. No flexions. You're supposed to just listen to your breath and try not to think. Okay, to finish this off, I want you to take your brain to the very tippy toes of your feet. And as you breathe in and out, slowly just have your brain travel up the body. So it starts at the toes, goes through the arches of the foot, your heels, your ankles, your calves and shins, underneath the knee, behind the knee, on top and around the knee, low thigh, mid thigh, hips, glutes, pelvis, belly, back, abdomen, your organs, your rib cage, your lungs, your chest, your throat, shoulders, between your shoulder blades, armpits, biceps, triceps, elbows, outside of the elbow, inside of the elbow, forearms, wrists, palms, fingers, back up through your elbows, biceps, triceps, shoulders, neck, ears, jaw, cheekbone, nose, eye sockets, back of your skull where your head's on the ground, eyes, forehead, crown of the head. Tuck your knees in one at a time. And then roll yourself up. Thank you all so much for joining me. Funky day. I hope that you enjoyed it. Remember to connect with your body and your breath, and your life and your mind will be happier for it. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.